welcome to the first live stream of the year. Yeah, welcome. This was not planned, but you're about to discover that you're also going to see this video again tomorrow because we're filming January Inked, which is supposed to come out tomorrow morning, but it's been one of those weeks and I just haven't filmed it yet, and so we're filming it live because that always makes these things better. So let's film a proper introduction to this, and then we'll kick off this video. I don't even know how I want to start this. Oh, it's just one of those days. It's been one of those weeks. So I thought this month was going to be all new pens, but some old favorites have snuck in. So let's see what I've got inked up this month. All right, that's an acceptable introduction. There's the lovely swatch card thing. You'll see an edited version of this tomorrow. Oh, actually, let's put the tray there. Let's put that there. Very pretty. All right. This is all going to be voiceovered, so it doesn't actually matter. We have the Bonu Hottty eyedroppered. I can't wait to get my hands on the new mini Bonu things, but for now, I'm loving Bonus, and you're about to actually see my newest Bonu. So Hottty is a Gold Spot exclusive. It's a Euphoria model. I love the Euphoria models. And up until I saw the Pixie, I didn't know that I would get a Bonu model that wasn't a Euphoria. They have a special place in my heart. This is russet typecase. All right. There we go. It's such a stunning pen. I love it. All right. Now for the ink swatch. I love these ink bottles. I know people don't like the 38 ml bottles. I really like them. I don't like the 20 ml bottles as much. I find them hard to use, but I do like the 38 ml. So there's that lovely ink color. And this is also one of those colors I didn't think I was gonna like. And yet I've eyedroppered it in a pen and it's been inked up for, at this point, months. I almost rinsed my nib holder in my cup of tea. That would have been sad. That would have been very sad. All right. Let's close this up. Hello. Welcome to the first live of the year. Because this video is coming out tomorrow and I haven't filmed it yet, and so we're doing it live because then I have no excuse not to film it. It's been one of those weeks. Next up, we have the brand new Bonu. I love it. I wanted it for such a long time. It's the hand-painted Pooh and Piglet. There is a video on this coming. I love the hand-painted Bonus, but I knew it was going to take a lot for me to add one to my collection, and it had to be really special, and when I saw this one, I knew I was going to get it one day. And I absolutely adore it. So I'm very excited that this has been added to my collection. And yeah, it's great. And thank you to Goldspot, who's letting me write for them on occasion, because the money from writing for Goldspot went to buying this pen at Goldspot, because they were who still had it in stock. It also took a little bit of affiliate credit, so if you've used my Goldspot affiliate, thank you. This is a medium nib. And I got it in a medium because it was only available at the time in a medium or a fine, and I didn't actually care. I just wanted the Pooh and Piglet. So it is, and as a British raised child, and I talk about this in the video, my Pooh and Piglet growing up were the pink and green Piglet and the Pooh without a jacket. And it's quite difficult to find merch like that on other products, and so I was quite happy to find it on a pen. This ink is FWP Morningside Mint. Which I'm not sure that I love in this pen. Oh, it's lovely. So you can definitely see, like, there's a big difference between a Bonu medium and a Bonu fine. Sorry, a Bonu fine and a Bonu medium. And then there's an even bigger difference with a Bonu broad. They're quite smooth nibs, but I got mine with a medium knowing that if I did want to put a broad in it, they're pretty easy to track down and swap out, and they cost about $30. So the green's a pretty good match. I'm just not a huge green ink fan, but there's something about being really matchy-matchy with a pen like this. So if you have ink suggestions for this pen, let me know, because I'm going to need them. I don't think Morningside Mint's going to be inked up for very long. The plan this month was actually that it was just going to be Christmas pens. And like pens I got around the holidays, because there were many this year. I think there were 7 that I ended up getting either for Christmas or when friends arrived, because I'd used their USPO box for a couple things. And then I ended up keeping some of the old favorites inked. Ooh, that's a good suggestion. I feel like I've got a lot of like yellowy gold stuff inked up right now, but maybe once I've got some of it uninked, I'll ink that up, because it is a really fun pen. I was also thinking like a light pink to match Piglet, but I think any light pink I chose would be too light. So we'll see. It's the fun of a new pen, getting to match inks. My teacup is just sitting in a dangerous place. Let's move it up there so that I stop almost dipping my nib in ink, in tea. Pinks do tend to be too light to write with. So I do have a pink. I have 2 pinks actually inked up currently that we're going to talk about, because both are great. Next pen comes as no surprise. It's been inked up for literally months at this point. This is the Ferris WHE Press Golden Gratitude SD. Not SD, not Ferris WHE Press, Esterbrook. Though Kenro is now the distributor for Ferris WHE Press, and Kenro owns Esterbrook. So that's where my brain's at. This is a fine nib. I have to say, Esterbrook fines were what made me fall in love with fines. They're such a nice fine nib. I also love this blank. It's so sparkly. I will say normally this ink is a lot lighter, but I was sick for all of December, and so this pen sat unused, and so the ink has evaporated a little bit, and it is much darker then it swabs out. I don't actually mind the darker color, but it is darker than it normally is. And now we get the joy of trying to get off a diamine lid. Haha! I hate diamine lids. If anyone knows of other lids that fit on diamine bottles, let me know. Because I despise their lids. I can't get them off. There, that is what sand between your toes normally looks like. It is very pale. It is very pretty. That is not the color it is currently in this pen. So, whatever. It's still pretty. And it's also a Kelp Pens exclusive color, so. Next up is Robert Oster Polar Vortex in an SD. So this is the Esterbrook SD Capri. No, it's not an SD. My brain's so tired. We're gonna voice over this entire video. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna voice over this entire video. This is not an SD. This is an Esterbrook JR in Capri. Yeah, okay. So far I've called the Esterbrook Golden Gratitude a Ferris WHE press pen and the Esterbrook Capri an SD. So, and we're only on pen number 4. This should be fun. Is this a medium? I think it is. It is. If you haven't seen the PR pics of this pen that I took on Instagram, I highly recommend going to check it out because the studio lighting does not capture just how reflective this pen body is. It is so stunning. Ink. So Polar Vortex is an exclusive to Atlas. I now have 2 Atlas exclusive Robert Oster inks. There we go. I love this color. Padded in samples. And it was one of those colors that I said unless I use the samples, I wasn't getting a bottle of it. And I used up one of the samples, and then when I found out I had a bottle on its way to me, I did trade the second when somebody in the Canadian group asked if anyone had a sample of it available. So I have officially finished my samples of it. But it is such a pretty color. I'm noticing that we're like very moody in the color palette this year. So far, sort of. Not really. They sort of remind me of like paint swatches. All right. Pop Pink, which is a new Mont Blanc ink to my collection, is in this stunning thing. The Bella de Notte is inked up again. I go back and forth about having this pen inked up. It is a flex nib, and I get bored of it being flexed. I think I'd write with it more if it had a medium or a fine on it. And so it shortly will have a medium or a fine on it because Goldspot currently has the rose gold color nibs in stock for the Memento size. So, or the Memento Magico, which is what this is. And so it will have a new nib shortly, hopefully in the next couple weeks. Oh, this was another X Goldspot. I just get bored of having it flexed. And it's a quite nice stiff flex nib. I just don't use it enough, but I do love the pen. So, spare nibs. All right. Also, I think that's a good pink match. I've struggled to find a good pink match for this pen. And pot pink was actually a suggestion from a friend. It's what they put in theirs. And yeah. Oh, thank you for watching the ads. It does really help. It's the only way YouTube pays me, is if people watch ads, but it does make a huge difference, so thank you. Yes, I do. YouTube Premium, actually, there's a separate tab on Analytics dashboard that tells you how much you're making from YouTube Premium people a month. So, yeah. So even if you've got YouTube Premium and you watch shorts, YouTube still pays me. And I believe it's based on like what percentage of that creator you watch overall. But I don't actually know how it fully works on the premium side. Next up, we have the Mont Blanc. I love this pen. Mom does not love this pen. She thinks it's slightly too big. It's a 146, so it's actually fairly small for Mont Blanc pens, and I really like it. There will be a video in the next couple weeks of tidying it up with a little bit of polywatch. I don't know if you can see, it's got a couple scratches, but honestly, I sort of feel less bad putting it in my 3-pen case in my purse, and in a 3-pen hard case in my purse with a couple scratches on it. So. I think it's such a pretty pen though, and it's got such great balance, and they make such pretty inks. 146. I think it's a medium. I honestly don't know, so I'm not even going to give it a nib size. Ink is Jane Austen, which I also love. Jane Austen is a newer ink to my collection. Like, it's so pretty. So, away it goes. Let's grab the ink. There's something so nice about the Mont Blanc ink bottles. It is, yes, okay, I will agree to that. Everything else that I've got inked up, like even the Capri, which is like a dark pen, is very... I love this ink. Like, you put it down and it just... It's so crazy. I love it. I know lots of people don't love it. But it also sold out because some people do really love Jane Austen. There's just something classic about black and gold. Yeah, Coco Chanel of pens. There's just something so classic about the black and gold. And I've put an ink in it that I don't mind having in it permanently because it is a bit of a pain to clean. So let's let that dry a bit. If you've got any questions about any of the pens so far, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. While we let Jane Austen dry a little bit. I will say it takes, in a swab, it takes a long time to dry. When you write with it, it really doesn't, but when you put it down as a swab, it takes forever to dry. And I've noticed that both times that or the 3 times I've swabbed it. Oh, where's my glass pen? Because we are swatching shimmers as well. So where's my glass pen? There it is. There it is, there it is, there it is. So I'm not going to get, the Wes Anderson pen is way out of my price range. I look forward to Hemingway's video on it. I'm really hopeful for the Wes Anderson inks. I think if they did them based on the theme of the movies, it would be really cool. I would love a set for the Grand Budapest in like the sort of like pinky peach tones of that movie. I sort of hope they bring back, they used to do trios of, I think they were 20 ml ink bottles that are the same shape as the 50 ones, but they were like color trios or theme trios. And I would love if they brought those back for Wes Anderson and they did them themed to the movies. So we'll see. All right, Jane Austen's dry. I just love how it's supposed to be a brown and it's not on MG paper. On MG, it's purple. And on my journal, on my like planner paper, it is more brown, which is great. Yeah, like I think they could do something, based on how the pen looks, I'm really hopeful that they're going to do something cool with the inks. I've been sort of, other than Jane Austen, their limited editions have sort of let me down lately. It feels very blue heavy lately. But there have been some fun things. All right, let's flip this page. Oh, I should have put a piece of blotting paper in there, shouldn't I have? Yeah, I should have. All right, we'll be back. Here's my blotting paper. Did I put it all away? Probably. Haha. Hello, Esterbrook blotting paper. If you don't have this, it's great. Esterbrook sells it in a bunch of designs. It's absolutely fantastic and worth the cost. Oh, there's not actually anything. It's just damp. So out of the pens, I've really liked, there's an Arthur Conan Doyle one, and I don't know if it was release 1 or release 2, but inside the magnifying glass on the clip, it had a little dinosaur in reference to The Lost World. And The Lost World is one of my favorite books. And I really like it. And I don't like it for any other reason other than the little magnifying glass. I am using an MD insert that I have stamped. And I didn't say that. I forgot to say what I was using. Honestly, today is just like one of those weird live streams. And I'm just going to try and make sense of this footage into a video for tomorrow. But it's an MD notebook. It's the blank version. It's a traveler's insert, and then I just stamp it using a stamp from Michaels and Ranger Archival ink. Yeah, I love Traveler's notebooks. They're great. All right, page 2. No surprise, it's the Navel Glacier. I'm sure somebody can go back and figure out just how many weeks I've had this pen inked up for, but I think I've had it inked up since like the end of May, beginning of June. It's been in my pen case for a long time. It's always had the same ink in it. It has not been cleaned once since I inked it up. It just keeps getting refilled with the same ink color. And it's a piston with a fairly large capacity. It doesn't get refilled all that often. I think I've only had to fully refill it 2 or 3 times. So, I love this pen. The resin is made by Starry Night Resins, who makes the resin for Heinz pens. And see, you're close enough to a Traveler's event. I have no Traveler's events, and I just have a bazillion inserts everywhere. Though I really want the new road trip clip. And I don't think they're going to release them in Canada, and I'm really sad because I desperately want one of those road trip clips. Yeah. So, this is the Naveler. Just spelled Mont Blanc wrong. I love this ink. Oh, fantastic. So hopefully they do release it in Canada, because I normally don't like the clips that they do, but I really want that road trip clip. It does look super icy. It matches our weather outside. I have a couple pens with the Starry Night resin. I've seen a lot of them. Honestly, I think this one is probably my favorite. You can go back and watch the video and see my first reaction to this pen, but it is an absolutely stunning blank. It's a stunning pen. So I like the Naveler pens. I will say I've worked with them. Naveler sent me this pen in exchange for a video, but it's appeared in a whole bunch of videos since then because I genuinely really like it. Mom has a Naveler that she loves. I have 2 other Navelers, one that they've sent me, one that I purchased. I really like their pens. Specifically, I like the Horizon pen. Like, it's pretty much the same size as an Esterbrook SD, just with a piston. So if you like the SD, it's a little bit heavier than an SD, but it's about the same size, and it's a really comfortable pen. Yeah, no, I love it. I will say there's one that I'm currently looking at, and I'm hoping at some point somebody destashes one that I get to pick up. Because honestly, one second, I'm realizing I keep saying Starry Night Resins, and I don't want to say that it's not Starry Night Resins. But I think it's Elisa's blanks. Is it Starry Night? It is Starry Night. I think Gold Spot still has it in stock. Naveler has a couple in stock, but really Gold Spot's your best bet for picking them up. I find they have the largest color selection in nib size normally. And then everyone's everyone's at Philly. So actually, if you do reach out to any brands about it, you will. So I do, mostly with brands that I work with. So I'll order from Goldspot or Atlas because I know the teams there. I know how fantastic they are. And then there's if you're Canadian, there's Wonder Pens. There's Toronto Pen Shop. The Wonder Pens team is great. Nelmar is fantastic at Toronto Pen Shop. But I do most of my ordering online. And I'm lucky enough to have friends that when I reach out to them about pens that I may not have, but I'm looking at, they'll pull them from their collections. Like I purchased my Mont Blanc in person from Toronto Pen Shop, but I've reached out to friends in the pen world and sent them the pictures and went, does this look right? Even though it had been authenticated by the people, just because it was such a large purchase. So I think as long as you're buying online from somewhere reputable, you shouldn't have major issues. I know that both Goldspot and Atlas, if you're buying a resin pen and there's a specific look you want, you can leave that in your order notes and they will do their best. You can also leave a note for them to like check their nibs before they ship them out to you. I don't know if Wonder Pens or Toronto Pen Shop does that, but I do know that Atlas and Goldspot do. And then there's a really great Canadian Facebook group for buying and selling fountain pens and inks. And I do utilize that on occasion. Not super often. I'll use it for ink trades more often, but on occasion I will use it for purchasing pens. All right, 5 to go. If you shoot me a DM on Instagram, I will get you a link for it because I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But I will get you a link to the group. All right, next up is the next Navel or Horizon pen. This is the Desert. They sent me this fairly recently, actually. And I love it. It doesn't have the same sort of like ombre as the other one does, but it is translucent enough that like you can see the piston mechanism through the clear part or like the yellow part. And I really like that. So I'm quite happy with it. And it is currently inked up with something sparkly. What I will say about these pens is that I have not used either of these since I was sick, or since I got sick mid-December. So this is a real test for some of these pens. The Hot Toddy, the Golden Gratitude, the Glacier, and this one have not been used since early December. And so we're learning just how good their caps are. So let's see if this just writes. It does. So Mom did, you'll notice that this nib is slightly wider than that one up there. Mom did floss this one a little bit because I was putting shimmer ink in it and I wanted the tines just slightly wider so that I didn't have any issues with shimmer. There we go. I love that pen. All right, let's shake this ink up. I guess we use a Q-tip to swab normally. Oh, I know where my Q-tips are. They're sitting on the floor beside me. Can you tell it's been a second since I filmed one of these? I love this ink. I didn't think I was gonna like it very much when I first saw it, but it has surprised me. All right, lid is on. All right, next up is, oh, the pretty thing. The Parker 45 Black Tassie. I love this pen. I got it for Christmas from my uncle. And it's so stunning. It's got the fine 14 karat gold nib. Oh. All right. So I put Parker Quink in this mostly because it's the only Parker color I own. And even though I normally put Mont Blanc in my vintage stuff, for whatever reason, I decided not to this time. Oh, I can't get this bottle open. Oh, shit. This lid, for whatever reason, keeps getting stuck. Every single time. You coming to rescue me? Thank you. Thank you, Mom. Just thank you. So I keep forgetting to clean that, and Parker ink hardens and like on the rim. Oh, I didn't need to use a Q-tip for this, but now I am. Now I am. There we go. There's our swab of Parker Quink. Yeah, again, it was one of those really surprising colors. So, also because I've decided I don't hate myself, let's clean the top of this bottle up a little bit so that maybe I can get the lid on and off. Yes, my mother is amazing. And the longer you watch this channel, the more you'll realize the stuff she puts up with for me. I will also say this week's inked video, or this week's pen video, is not one of my pens. It is Mom talking about one of her pens. So look forward to that on Wednesday, because Mom is going to introduce you to the pen that she got for Christmas. And it's fabulous. And at some point I need to film with her celluloid pen. All right. Next up we have the pen that I bought for my birthday that back in November on affiliate credit. And it only just arrived because a couple weeks ago because I shipped it to a friend's P.O. box in the States. And it's a Pilot Desimo in purple. So if you've used Atlas affiliate credit, or if you've used my Atlas link to order in the past, thank you. you let me buy myself a very nice birthday present back in November. And I very much appreciate it. So it's a great new pen. New pen days are so much fun. And I oftentimes, like the Winnie the Pooh Bonu appears in this video. That video is not coming out for like 2 more weeks, the video on that pen. Sometimes you'll see pens in videos like this where you haven't seen the pen video yet. Because I try and space it out so that if I can, you only have, or if I can, there's a pen video every week or every other week. Drew and I have not talked about that yet. But there might be an opportunity in the next couple weeks for people to ask Drew questions on a stream. So look forward to that. So that's upcoming. What I will say is that even if they do, there's no guarantee that I would be given one. So Atlas and Goldspot are who I have codes to currently. If you shop there and decide to use my codes, thank you very much. They're always in the description of videos. So this is Wearing Gull 12th Night. It has a very pretty blue shimmer that I will show you when I flip over this bottle. It is not shimmery, but, or the ink that I put in my Pilot Desimo was as unshimmery as I could make it, because that's the shimmer. And it's stunning. I've loved this ink for a long time. It is an Atlas exclusive Wearing Gull ink. They've got a couple. This one is by far my favorite, and I've wanted it for a long time, and I just kept forgetting to buy it, and I finally got it for my birthday, which also happens to be Fountain Pen Day weekend, and so it was on sale. But it's very sparkly, as you can see, and so I decided that, you know what, I didn't want to put sparkly ink in a medium Pilot Desimo, and so I inked it in such a way, I left the bottle on my desk for a couple hours, and let it, or not a couple hours, like 25 minutes, and let as much shimmer settle out as I could before I inked it. The video on that is coming soon. I think currently it's scheduled for like the first week of February. As you can see, there have been a lot of pens recently, and because I let you guys vote in a poll on which pens you want to see first, we have been slowly working through that. Finally, we have the last two. So first up is the pen that appeared in the video this week. This is the Sailor 1911 Fountain Pen Hospital Blue Moon. I love this pen. I was lucky enough to get it from somebody's personal collection when they were downsizing, and it's just so much fun. So So this is probably my favorite medium nib. I didn't think I was going to like a medium hard. They're hard to find these days. They don't actually mark them on nibs anymore in North America. But it writes and sounds like a mechanical pencil. And I was always the kid in school that hated using pen or regular pencils, would only use mechanical pencils. And so I love using pens that like don't actually have feedback, but like sort of sound like they do. Like there's just a tactile feel to them. And this fills that desire. And it's such a good color match, which I didn't think it was going to be based on the swatch. I just didn't have the right blue for it, so I put in a purple. I know. And it's even prettier with sparkle. And because I have nothing else to do, I can grab a Wear and Go card and we can swatch it and you can see the sparkle. Because it is stunning, and I don't know where my coloring dippers are because I've been moving stuff around. But it is so pretty. So once we've swatched these last two, we will swatch it. Thank you. So I really like it. And if you watch the video, you'll see that I had to order a converter for it. And so it has a very me converter in it. Should I use a wetter ink? So brain injury, I only use dry inks or inks that are considered to be on the drier side of my pens. I pretty much exclusively use Mont Blanc and Ferris WHE Press and things like that because I know I'll smudge. I do own wetter inks, but most of the time I'll use Mont Blanc, Ferris WHE Press, Sailor, things like that that are drier. And as long as you don't people that are looking for a really wet ink and pen combination are looking for a very specific effect on the paper. They work fine. I use my fountain pens for a very practical, like I just need to be able to jot down a note sort of use. And so for me, this sort of drier ink, drier pen combination works well. Like I like having a broad nib like the Mont Blanc and in the Glacier where it just works and I don't have to worry about smudging or anything. That's totally fair. I do watercolor with ink all the time. I use them as backgrounds in things. And again, I would show you a notebook, but my studio's an absolute mess. Another new pen that was a Christmas gift from Claire Coco. It's a Visconti, which is a crazy sentence to say. It's a Visconti Mirage. It's an emerald. It's got a snap lid. I love it. So right. I have to look this ink color up every single time I need to use it. Because I can never remember how to spell it. Sabimidori. I love this ink color. I need a bottle of it. I use it all the time. And I only have a 5 ml sample of it, so I'm trying to make this sample last until Chicago. I have about 3 ml of it left. We'll see if that happens. I have my doubts. For now though, let's swatch out this color. It's just such a good color. I was so unsure about it at first, and it has now become like one of my favorites. And it's appeared in so many people's 20 questions favorite inks. Like, it goes down this really dark teal, and then it dries to this really pretty green. I just love it. So it's on my, there are very few inks I try as samples that I end up getting as bottles. It's one of them that's on the list. So hopefully next year, or this year I guess, because it's now 2024, I will end up getting it. Let's let that dry a little bit more so you can really see the color. And then we will swatch the Wearingeul. I guess I should shake this. The lid's on. Great. Shake, 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 shake. I will say, Wearingeul Shimmer is a pain to break up in the bottom of a bottle. I sort of feel like I need to put, you know, those little beads that are in nail polish bottles. I sort of feel like there are a couple of my shimmer inks that could use those balls. I have a couple friends that have magnetic stir plates for their shimmer inks. And I don't know that I've reached that level yet, but I've gone, oh, I could use like the nail polish balls in inks just to like agitate everything. All right, there we go. It's a very pretty color. All right, we're gonna let that dry, and then we'll do the flip through. And while it dries, let's watch. Even just while we were sitting there, it settled out. Wearingeul inks are so pretty, but so, like the shimmer is so fine, is sort of the best way to describe it, that it just sort of settles. These are the Atlas exclusive Wearingeul cards. I do have some new Wearingeul cards though. There will be a haul video coming at some point. And I bought some new Wearingeul cards. Alright, well, let's let that dry. Such a pretty color. Oh, also, somebody had asked, and I forgot who had asked, I did finally find out what blank this is from River City Pen Company. So, he is able to order more if you've been wanting the same sort of colorway in either a nib holder or a pen. I do too. I've got a couple of their inks in samples from friends. And I really like Wendy Darling. There's no reason for me to like Wendy Darling as much as I do. Because honestly, like you can't really read it. It's so light and it's so pretty. And I really want a bottle of it. Like I would really like a bottle of Wendy Darling, and I'd really like a bottle of Persephone. Which I've got a sample of, but I really like it. And then I also, they just did a spread of all the gray inks they make. And that sort of made me want like every gray Wearingeul makes for the collection of gray inks, but I don't need it. So that's mostly dry. So there we go. It's very pretty. I like, it's sort of like, it's blue straight on, but when you tilt it, the shimmer's sort of purpley. It's a very pretty ink. And it's an Atlas exclusive. Atlas has a couple exclusive inks with Wearingeul, but by far, 12th Night is my favorite. So, I'm happy to finally have a bottle of it. And it's so pretty. Like, I like the Wearingeul bottles. I like how sort of plain their labels are. It's already settled out. All right. The final flip through of ink colors. We have these 6. Oh, Atlas is sold out of 12th Night. Wow. So we have these 6. I love Polar Vortex. It's so pinky purple in this paper. And the difference between sand between your toes that's been sitting in a pen for a couple months and stuff fresh out of the bottle is amazing. Jane Austen is a fantastic ink color and will always be in that pen. I suspect it'll come back in stock. It's a very popular Atlas exclusive. And so I would suspect if you put it on your wait list, you'll get an email. I think I was on the wait list for it for a little bit, and I think they restocked it in the fall, and I suspect they sold out at Christmas, and we'll restock it at some point. And then we've got this. Like, it's an interesting, it's not really a color spread that goes together. Some months we've got the spread that, like, the colors all go together. That is not this month, but it is still a very pretty set of colors. Whereas, like, this was all really just, like, muted colors. That went together. Also, Polar Vortex. Polar Vortex. So I'm not just going crazy. Okay, I was looking up this swatch going, this seems wrong, because that's what Polar Vortex swatched out, like, a month ago from the sample vial. And that's what it swatched out as from my bottle today. So I guess I have to do a new Cola Rig Dipper. That's a huge color variation. What the hell? Because this was the color I wanted. I don't dislike that, but also, like, Atlas, you might be getting an email from me. Am I crazy? Like, or is that, like, a huge color difference? That's navy. That's purple. Oh, I've got the purple coloring. I was like, do I have the blue one down here to compare it to? Cool. My blue coloring's upstairs. Whatever. I know where it sorts on the blue coloring. It sorts just before Mont Blanc. Midnight Blue. So let's dip this. Because if that's the color difference, Atlas is gonna get an email tomorrow morning from me. Oh yeah, no, like, look how purple that is. Oh. Robert Oster does make the ink, but Robert Oster's not going to send me a replacement bottle. Or Robert Oster's not going to send Shannon a replacement bottle. No, so they're not from the same bottle. One is from a bottle from the summer, and one is from the new batch. But that's a lot of color variation. And the new batch hasn't actually been around for all that long. It's only been out for a couple weeks. And so there's a chance that a whole bunch of people haven't opened their bottles yet, because I know that mine shipped just before Christmas. All right, this is drying, but it's not drying in a way that has me hopeful. Because normally it goes Mont Blanc, Sailor Blue Black, and then, no, it goes Mont Blanc, Robert Oster, Sailor Blue Black. And that goes in the purples. That goes in there. That is not that. So that's gonna dry, and then we will reevaluate, because, and then I'll send an email. Is Atlas at, no, I don't think they are. I'm like, who's not at Philly? The Gold Spot team's all at Philly, but I don't think anyone from Atlas is at Philly. Dark lilac, but also it's not the first time that I have a bottle of Ferris WHE Pressed Storied Blue from the batch that was green instead of blue. And that made it onto store shelves. To be fair, that made it onto Reddit, and they still didn't pull that batch. And I bought a bottle from Atlas and swatched it live about this time last year, actually. Yeah, this time last year. Apparently January Atlas inks and I just don't get along. And Atlas ended up testing Storied Blue before they sent me a bottle and making sure they sent me a blue one. But Mom is appearing with the cola rings, and so we will see how different this is. Thank you, I think. No, that's shimmers. Mom, am I crazy? Like, can you just look at this color?
They are not the same color.
They are not the same color.
No.
That's a navy. That's a purple.
Yes.
It's supposed to be the top, so
Let's like, bring it back.
Yeah, I'm bringing it into frame.
Oh, sorry. This is definitely
this is the
has
color
more
it's
blue,
supposed to
this
be,
has more
because
red.
that's the color it is on the swatch. That's the color it is in the store swatch book. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm sending Brian an email.
I like them both.
I like them both too, but
if you're buying,
but this is what matches my
want,
Capri. Like, it's a very pretty purple.
It is.
It's a purple that makes me very happy. But
it's
I
not
swatched it
vortex.
here and I went, it's got such pretty shading, but that seems wrong.
Yeah, it's got pink undertones.
Yeah. I'll send a pic to Atlas. Atlas will handle it. Well, I might have to send a pic to Shannon. Shannon was the one that ordered it for me.
Is she in Philly?
Everyone's in Philly.
Right.
Everyone's in Philly. The entire Gold Spot sent in an email today that went, "We'll be back Monday. We're all out of office." And Shannon went, "I'm just running into Gold Spot people at Philly. Oh, I see Tom. I'm too scared to say hi to Tom, and I went, "You're being so ridiculous." So I will wait for it to dry fully, but like, so the edges are already dry, and you can see just how different it is on the edges. I guess I should find a black pen. I think what probably happened is they actually switched their quantities of red and blue. To me, it looks like what was supposed to be red was actually blue, and what was supposed to be blue was actually red. Which happens with handmade paint stuff all the time. And I'm fairly sure it's what happened with the Ferris wheel press batch of storied blue that came out green. And so, well, at least I've got their email. So up top is what it's supposed to be. So it's not, again, it's not an unpretty color. It's just not quite what I wanted. I wanted my moody dark blue. So, let me see if I can find my swatch of the green one. Ah, there's the green one. So basically Celadon Cat, because there's Celadon Cat, there's the green batch. Okay. I know I've got a sample of you somewhere. Ah, there we go. And then there's the proper storied blue. So Diamine Celadon Cat, the green batch, and then storied blue. Which, that was a fun adventure. To be fair, when I Googled it, there were a whole bunch of people on Reddit that had the same issue. So, there we go. That's fun. It's purple. It's a very pretty purple. I think it's a purple that I don't have. It sort of lives in there, and I don't quite have something in there yet. So I don't hate it. It's just not quite what I thought I was getting. So, and that's one of those things like until you swatch a bottle, you don't know. And that's why I swatch everything. So you can mix inks. Don't mix, sort of a rule of thumb is that you don't mix brands with other brands, because brands don't make their formulations public. But other than that, there aren't really any issues in mixing. And if like you are mixing brands and other brands, mix in a sample vial and put a cap on it and leave it for a couple days and like make sure nothing gross happens before you put it in a pen. Other than that though, like mixing inks is fun and I do it all the time. And I have mixed many brands together, but I always do it in a sample vial and leave it for a couple days just to make sure nothing happens. All right. It's also taking forever to dry. That middle section still is not dry. So that's fun. That's fun. I wonder what's the color on the website for Polar Vortex? Because I thought it was a navy. It is. Oh, it's like an. Well, it seems like in. I don't know. Maybe my original sample was the wrong color. Because people in the comments are talking about a lavender gray. I don't know. Like more recent comments or more recent reviews, like are saying they'd like it to have been darker. So maybe this is what it was and this is the new version. And then there is a recent 3-star review from December. Oh, okay. I'm just going to get in touch with them tomorrow. It's finally dry. There's definitely a color difference. So if it, again, so my sample was from Atlas. Like I got Atlas, had packaged samples of the Atlas exclusive inks for the sidewalk sale, some of them. And so my sample of Polar Vortex was from Atlas. And so maybe it's been the wrong color the entire time. But honestly, I won't know until I DM them or send an email. So that's a fun adventure for tomorrow. It's a very pretty purple. I'm already, thinking about putting it in this because it is the perfect match for the Desimo. But I was not looking for a new purple. I was hoping to find my dark gray blue color. So, that was an adventure. That was fun. That is definitely going in that pen once I run it dry. Also, has anyone emptied out the converter that comes with this pen to use it instead of the cartridge? Because I despise the Con 40. I hate the Con 40. I can never get a full fill on it. And so I'm thinking about emptying the cartridge and rinsing it because I'm never going to use the plain blue ink and just refilling that instead. But I don't know if that's a silly idea or not. So let me know. For now, though, I'm going to end this because I have to edit this video into something usable for tomorrow. Probably cutting off all this end bit. So the only way you get this lovely commentary on Polar Vortex is if you watch the live. But I hope you have a good evening. Thanks for watching. There will be a pen store haul at some point in the next couple weeks because I picked up something fun. All right, got to stop at a new pen store that I've wanted to stop at for a bit. They go to Scriptus, but I never see them because I'm busy. And then also I found something that I really wanted, and I have put it aside for 5,000 subscribers. So we're about 570 people away from that. But once we hit that, there will be a really fun pen to open. And I'm really excited about it. Also, there's still a Christmas pen to open. So that's, you'll still be seeing Christmas pen content in like February, March. That's just how things sort of run on this channel. If you're new here, you'll get used to it. It's great. We have a lot of fun. For now, though, I'm going to end this and edit this into something usable for tomorrow. So have a great night.